Yeah, what a game for both sides. Massive one for Tottenham. They play Manchester United. Kicks off Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. And look, as we're obviously Spurs and Manchester United fans,
I'm outnumbered, ain't I?
You're outnumbered 2 to 1.
Oh, no.
But you have to say, you're going strong, Manchester United, this season. It's been a progressive season, I think so. All the talk of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaving and all the nonsense they had to part with at the start of the season. Spurs thrashed United 6-1.
Don't remind me.
At Old Trafford. I mean, it's been a big change in fortunes. What's gone right for United, Leanne, and what's gone wrong for Tottenham?
It's an interesting one because that 6-1 game feels like it was about 5 years ago. Maybe just for me, forget about it. But no, but it feels like at that moment in time, there was talk of Tottenham potentially winning the league. You know, I know it was early days, but...
Yeah, that was great.
I wonder who said that.
That was great.
I wonder who said that.
He said it with his chest out.
I think a lot of Spurs fans did, but... optimism, but yeah, I don't know. I think with Manchester United, I've said this many times, like when it's your team, you're so emotionally involved, aren't you? Where you're like, well, are we as bad as I thought we are? If that makes sense, because we're in second spot in the league. I'm thinking, how? At times, I often want to fall asleep when Man United are playing, but I'm thinking, actually, are we doing as bad as I thought we were?
Yeah.
No, we're still in Europa League, but I have to get used to we're not Manchester United from 1999. I think a lot of us that are Man United fans, former players that talk about the club, I think. When you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what we're doing at the moment, I still don't think we're playing that well, but we're winning. You know, and I think that's the most important thing.
I mean, in terms of Spurs, Craig, we have sat here, we've said they're going to win the league, we've said they're useless, we've given them stick, we've praised them, it's been so up and down, right? When that 6-1 at Old Trafford happened, we were very confident that the season was going to go and really kick on. What do you think's changed? Do you think he come under the media pressure in terms of his style, Mourinho, and changed it when he probably should have stuck with that defensive sort of nature that we had at the start?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I think, he had a plan at the beginning of the season. He knew what Spurs' strengths and weaknesses were because he worked with the team for, about a year at that point. And the defence is the weakness, and he knew that. So he thought, you know what, we're going to sit back, and just let Son and Kane counter. And he was paying dividends, a lot of dividends at the beginning of the season. We saw that result at Old Trafford, beating Man City 2-0. They were winning big games. They were winning all kinds of games. They were scoring for fun. Exactly. And then the cracks started to come and show when they were scoring early. Wolves is a good example, 1-0 up, and then they're conceding in the last minute. Or against Newcastle earlier on in the season when the dire handball happened in VAR. West Ham, that was a capitulation. But yeah, there were little marginal results where you looked at it and thought, all right, they just dropped the points, dropped 2 points, maybe dropped 3 points. And then the fans, the media, everyone started kind of bringing up that narrative of the football's boring, and if with Jose, if you don't win and the football's boring, then what's the point? You only want that if you're going to win. So I think he kind of caved into the pressure a bit, and you see how Spurs are playing now. They're a lot more expansive, they're a lot more open, the back line's quite high, and I don't like it.
But that was my next question. How do you find that? Because watching the Newcastle game, I mean, Newcastle were a better team, right? Yeah. They deserved to probably win that game if it wasn't for Harry Kane being ruthless, and some of their bad defending. You have to look at the way Spurs were playing, and they had 17 shots in the box or something, Newcastle. It was ridiculous.
Which is not good enough because
it's not good enough.
The way Newcastle have been playing of late, you don't expect them to get a point against Spurs at all.
Well, you look at it and you go, the defence is obviously the biggest problem there. If they're under any sort of pressure for just a moment, those players start... I don't know, the composure isn't there.
But I think a lot of teams are like that though, Craig. I think a lot of teams are like that though, in the back line. I think we've seen Manchester United this season. The whole year hasn't been, Lindelof and Harry Maguire being great.
I trade Maguire for 3 of our centre-backs.
Well, we're going to have a chat about... of course, 1,000,000%. We're going to have a chat about Maguire. I want to do that a little bit later on because I want to have a good chat about it because there's a lot of people who've been giving him stick this season. I think he's been very underrated in his performances, because the price tag he come in for...
Yeah.
He instantly gets compared to Van Dijk, right?
But if you look at the Tottenham game from the 6-1, Man United's backline was terrible.
Yeah, but do you know why? As much as I get onto Man United fans, my friends, I give it to them, I stick it to them, we thrash you, wipe the floor with you. The reality is Man United weren't fit at that point in the season. It was so early on in the season. Man United, your players had, I think, a lesser break than the Spurs players because you went so far into certain competitions last season. So I think Yeah, that was just what it was. I think Mourinho knew that Manchester United wasn't up to speed. They wasn't fit enough yet. The fitness wasn't all the way up. And we took advantage of that because we'd already played quite a few Europa League qualifiers and our team was quite fit by that point. But I think looking at it now, it's a different proposition. This Man United team will cause, because you're good at attacking. For everything else that goes on, you're good at attacking. I think they're going to cause Spurs defence so many problems.
Well, the other big question I wanted to ask is, and you know, two outstanding performers this season, Harry Kane and Bruno Fernandes. And the question I want to ask you and the listeners, if you're listening, give us a call on this 08717 223344. Who do you think is more reliant on that one player? Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes or Spurs and Harry Kane?
I'm going to say, maybe I'm biased, I'm going to say Spurs and Harry Kane. I used to think it was Bruno. If you asked me earlier on in the season, I would have said Bruno, hands down, because he has been the catalyst for everything good at Man United. I'm not even just talking about the goals and the assists. I'm talking about he lifts everyone around him. But I think what Harry Kane does, he's the top assister in the Premier League, not just the Spurs team with 13. He's the top scorer in the league and at Spurs. He defends as a centre-half. He drops deep. Everything goes for him. Bruno Fernandes, his work rate off the ball, covers a lot of ground, but I think he gets a lot of slack. I think people say, you know, he tries those risky passes and it doesn't come off, and when it doesn't come off, he doesn't track back sometimes. He doesn't even, I think that Harry Kane defends more than most attacking players.
But Man United don't perform when Bruno Fernandes doesn't play.
No, not at all. I mean, I think I said this before, you know, I think we're so emotionally involved with our teams. But obviously, you're going to go Harry Kane and I'm going to go Bruno, because I don't think we would be in second place in the Premier League if it wasn't for him.
Do you think you'd be outside the top four if Bruno Fernandes wasn't at Manchester United?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think we're a different team. I think when he gets subbed, even if it's the 80th minute and we're 3-0 up, I mean, this whole, like, I've seen it a lot on social media where people say he doesn't track back and stuff. Yes, we need players to do that. But the way he has come into Manchester United Football Club and has taken our game to another level, I just think he's on a completely different level. And that's just my opinion, because I don't think we would be in the top four if it wasn't for him. And people say, oh, you know, he only scores penalties. He doesn't only score penalties. You know, he doesn't. He contributes so much.
Play. I mean,
he does.
He's the one.
Leader.
He's the leader on the pitch. He's the one who makes things happen for Manchester United.
Did he score a penalty yesterday?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But
Come on, Craig.
Listen,
come on.
everything that Manchester United does comes through Bruno Fernandes.
Absolutely.